Alright, let's keep going from when I stopped last time. Put some music on. So this one was trying to find the smallest common multiple. Then I created the number, the loop for the number. So I remember now. I have to find the smallest number, the smallest common multiple from all of the numbers in this array. That's why I created this loop here. This is gonna loop through numbered. It's gonna loop through every number until the factorial of these numbers here. And then I was trying to figure out how to create another loop inside of this to make the condition. So I think I'm gonna erase this loop here. And then I was thinking about, dude, is this that day's question? Which day we're talking about? The previous stream? I changed my username. Are you Dragon or something? If you are, then it is the... Yes. Yeah. I thought about it a little bit. I think I might have some way of doing, but I'm not sure if it's gonna work. Do you know? You figure out? Did you succeed or? Not very. Give me a hint then. Try not to give me the full answer, because if you have it, because then that defeats the point of the challenge, right? Yeah, there's a bunch of methods here that I was thinking about using. There's this every method, then the map. I thought about using map and then comparing the size of the new array with the old array, and if it matches, then it's gonna pass, I think. If you are taking 2 inputs, this is gonna return. I was thinking about doing something like this. If you are taking two inputs, or do if else for greater one. Create the list of all the number between two. And iterate over the list and try to figure it out. I don't understand the if else for greater one part that you're saying, but the list of I did on this first two commands here. Like these two commands is gonna take this array here that is gonna give me, which is gonna be two numbers, and then it's gonna transform these two numbers into a new array that is the difference between the two. And write the whole wait for me. Yeah. Oh, there's a thing here. No. Divided by I think this might work here. I'm not sure. I'm speaking Python perspective, so bear with me. If I remember from Python, elif is the same as else if in JavaScript. Python's version of else if is elif, but I'm not sure. I'm worried that this is not gonna pass. No, it didn't work. Attention if in the loop detector online. 19 tasks may be failing because of this. Take two inputs, check for greater one, then create list of number between them. Yeah, so we're talking about the function, right? It gives two inputs first, then you're telling me to check for the greater one, and then create a list of a number between them. Then iterate over that list and try to figure out a function or so that can check for a particular multiples. All remainder are 0. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but like these two blocks here do what you said in the first lines there. The issue is that I'm having is telling me that I have an infinite loop to check through when I'm trying to iterate over the list. Is giving me an infinite loop, and that's the issue that I'm having now. to find the condition. To find if all of the numbers pass the condition. Which is they have to... The remainder of the division between the number and them has to be 0, right? Recursion. But where exactly? Like which function I'm gonna be calling? Yeah, I know. I just don't know how to do it on this specific scenario, where to fit in recursion. Because it doesn't make sense to call the same function at the end, because then it's gonna do these unnecessary steps here. So it has to be a recursion in the middle, you're saying. The one which will increment all the number in list, and after division, if every single of them remainder is 0. Increment all the number in list, and after division. So you're saying inside of this part here, this function should be a recursion function. But can I use a return method inside of the if statement? Yeah. Increment all of them. But how are you gonna know when to stop incrementing? Like, you have to do it in a completely different way then. Like, you make a condition to stop when all of them reach the same number. No, that doesn't make much sense. But then how are you gonna increment? Because if you increment one by one, it's not necessarily gonna be the answer, right? Because all of them are gonna reach 4 at some point. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I get it. Does this work? And you increment one by one then. Let me think of this example. Yeah, but then I don't know how to like the thing is, like, I think I understand the line you're trying to go with, but then I'm gonna have to go do a completely different way, and I think I'm already close with this way that I'm doing. You know, you're looking at it from the points like making the condition from the beginning and then increasing, and I'm looking from the point of figuring out the number by the division and not by the multiplication. Because if I try to do this way, I think I'm gonna need to do more functions, like a bunch of if statements. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Can you see this code here? Like, what do you think is wrong with this one? Do you understand what it's doing here? I have a feeling that this should be very close, but for some reason... Oh yeah, there we go. See? So this was the issue. Yeah, there's a little bit of delay because of my internet, but you will see. If you don't understand, let me know what you don't understand and I'll try to explain. Now the thing I don't understand yet is because why it was giving me an infinite loop before I put the return. So I think this condition was running forever before it returns the number. I can't understand that reduce thing. So the reduce, the basically way that it works is like it's gonna create a new array with the function, like we're gonna give it two values. One is gonna accumulate a value, and the other one is gonna take the form of each of the values of this array here, which is all numbers. Let me put a comment on this for now. So you have this array here, right? A is gonna be is gonna take the form each time. It's like kind of like a loop, and B is gonna be each of the numbers of the array, and each time is gonna apply this function here. So basically, like, it's kind of a little bit confusing to understand. But what it's basically doing is applying this function to all the numbers in this array here, and returning a single value. So A is gonna be 1, for example, then B is gonna be 2, and then it's gonna multiply 2 by 1, and then it's gonna be the same over and over again until it loops through all the array. Let me summarize what you're doing. So if instead of multiplication here and I put a sum, like A plus B is gonna return the sum of all of these numbers. And it's gonna put it in this array here. Let me put console.log some numbers. A is separate number and B is from the array, and you are multiplying A with every B. Yes, yeah, exactly. So when I put here, but I'm only multiplying because that's the function I wrote here, you know. If I put sum here, then it's gonna sum through 15, because 15 is the sum of all of these numbers. So the reason I did this is because if I put this loop inside here to any number, like to an infinite number, it's gonna be too big of a loop, because I was getting infinite loop. I'm not sure if this is necessary to solve the problem. It might be possible to put any number there, but the output is stored on this thing here, in this variable. Like it's gonna create another array that is gonna have the value that is the function here in this thing. So when I console log some numbers here, which is the variable that I created here, is gonna be the multiplication of all the numbers. It's gonna be this value, you know, which is this array going through this reduce function and becoming this value here. So if you take all of that and you just put some numbers, like some numbers is gonna be equal to the multiplication of the numbers in the all numbers array, if that makes sense. Sum for what? It is not multiple of 4 or 2. 15. No, that was just I was just changing there to try to make it clear for you what the reduce function is doing. The reason I did it multiplication here is because the multiplication of all of them is gonna be it is not necessarily gonna be the smallest common multiple, but it is gonna be a limit, because if it reaches that number and it didn't find the smallest common multiple, then that number is the smallest one. Yeah, I know, but I'm not using this to find the answer. I'm using this to find the limit in the loop here. Because before, when I was trying to do it, instead of putting some numbers here, I was putting a very large number. And then it becomes inefficient because it's gonna loop through, I was getting infinite loop, you know, in the answer. So I thought that this might be the reason what I was not right, the answer was not right. But I'm not sure if it's necessary, you know. So like, if instead of putting this here, it might work, you know, if I just put like a huge number. Yeah, it works. So it's not, this reduce is not necessary. Find the answer. Put a if else in the loop and try checking for output there. And put a break. What are you saying? In this loop here? Inside this loop? I think I tried that before too, but the issue, I don't think the issue was that the number was too big. Well, I know that's not the issue now because it passes. The issue was just that it wasn't returning the function there. It was looping through, like, because the condition I put was wrong, it was looping through all of the numbers, trying to loop through all of the numbers without ever finding the answer. And that was why it was giving me an infinite loop. And the issue with putting a break there is that it's gonna break the first time, you know. That's the problem, because if you put a break inside of the loop, it's gonna break the first time it runs the condition. And that's not necessarily what we want, but if you put outside, then it defeats the purpose, right, of the break. That whole thing will just create complexity. No, it will not break. Yeah, that's right. That's why I created this reduce here. But I'm not sure if it makes a lot of sense, because, well, it does if the smallest common multiple is the factorial of the array, right? Because then, but then it will find anyway through the condition, like. Or if there isn't a smallest factorial, smallest common multiple, which is impossible to. So yeah, I don't think it's necessary. It will not break if it is under if clause, then it's not gonna break. Or yeah, that's true. Try one thing, I got an idea, new one. But you understand this one? Like, this is correct already. We can try a new one, but this is the answer already. Take factorial and start decreasing the number. Start decreasing the number. And the last one, save it. Start decreasing by which function? Like decreasing by 1, decreasing by 2. You mean on the loop here? Yeah, which way would be more efficient? Start from the biggest, smallest common denominator, common multiple, which is going to be the multiplication of them, or just to start from 1? The last one, save it. Let's say factorial of 5 is 120. And these there are even numbers, so the OP has to be even. Decrease 120 by 2 with every loop. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work, man, because and divide by all the number. I don't think that's gonna work, and if it does, it's a little bit more complicated than the way I did it. And the reason why it's not gonna work is because 5 and 1 is not the only values, right? There's 2 and 10 here, 1 and 13, 23 and 18. Like, you have to find an answer that is gonna solve for any values that you decide to put there. Last time we received 0 is our output. No, it's correct. This thing, like, it passes the test. The thing in Python is we create a list here. So if I say range 1, it will create, yeah, so that's, but what if you don't have necessarily 1 and 5? What if it are two arbitrary numbers? And when I use for I in list, it will give 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, beyond, I'm gonna go to the background here. Back. Real quick. Alright, so you get it this answer here and why it works. If you do, I'm gonna go to the next one. Which part do you don't understand? Forget about this here for a second. Well, actually, I can't put that. Unable to think very much. Are you serious or you trolling? I have a surgery on Tuesday. Oh, that sucks, man. You can write up pseudocode as a side note. That can help. So let me think. So this part you got it, right? The first part. So the first thing, it takes the two inputs, look for which one is bigger, then creates an array that goes from smallest to biggest, which is the all numbers array. Don't write it right away. What do you mean? Whenever you're free. What do you mean, man? In this part right here isn't necessary. This next step is only the loop, which is gonna loop through a number between 1 and the factorial of the array, which is going to be the multiplication of the all numbers in the array. I should be going for my studies. Couldn't study for the last 2 days. No, I'm not in a hurry. I'm just trying to understand if you get it or not. Because if you don't, then well, can I explain it to you? But I'm not sure if you're trolling or not, if you're serious. So it's gonna loop through 1 and through the factorial of the array, 1 by 1, and then the condition inside of the thing is gonna create a test. The thing inside of the if statement is gonna test if every element of the array that we created previously, the array all numbers, passes the function inside the every method. And then if it does, it returns the number at which it does. So that's how it works. First, it separates the bigger, figures out which one is the biggest, which one is the smallest, creates an array that has all the numbers from the smallest to the biggest. Then this part here creates the factorial of these numbers, and this loop is gonna go from the number 1 until the factorial of them, which is in this case is 120. So from 1 to 120, 1 by 1. Inside of this if statement is gonna test if every element of the all numbers passes this function inside of here. and the function is returning the remainder of the number divided by each element equals to 0. So first iteration is going to be 1. 1 divided by all elements of the array, all numbers, which is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it's going to test if it's 0. If it's false, then it's not going to run this function. It's going to keep looping. It's going to go back to the loop and test the value 2. And it's going to keep doing that until it finds out that this is true, or until it reaches the last number. But it's going to reach before because, yeah. Third line, you created a function and sending every number one by one. Which line do you mean? Third line is this one. Got it now? Cool. These methods here, like, it took me a long time to... I still don't understand them very well. It's very confusing to understand it. Like exactly what the JavaScript is doing. Inside if don't return. You mean here? But if I don't return, it's gonna keep going forever, or until it reaches the end of the loop, and it's not gonna give me the answer. Oh, this third line, you mean? Use else to break. Test if every element of the array manifests the function set up. Every method. Line 22. So where do you want to break here? On this return or this one? Oh, here. Like this. Oh, I got it, huh? Well, let's see if it passes. Yeah, it's not gonna pass. The reason why I think is because it's gonna break in the first iteration. You know, that's the problem. Like, you can't really put the break there. If you wanted to do this, you could do it outside here, outside of the loop. But then it kind of defeats the purpose, right? It's because it's gonna loop anyway. And even this is not working. Oh, it has to be outside of there. I put it inside. So it has to be outside both loops. Yeah. And it's not possible to do that. I don't know why. I guess it only works inside of the loop, the break thing. Because even if you get the answer, let me write it on paper. Then we'll tell what I mean. No, let me put it on here. Oh, it's a bunch of loops. Let me see where it stops. I think I'm gonna keep going, then when you want to, you can tell me. And we can discuss it in the Python tutor. So given the array, iterate true. If all numbered after area element equal. What do you mean? I don't understand. Here? Can't be just equal return, because then it's not gonna run any function. Like this is the function that it's running on every element of the all numbers, right? And it returns the value, returns this statement here, which is the remainder of the number divided by element equals 0. And when it's false, then it's gonna return a false value. And if returns a false value, it's not gonna run the if statement. If you learn JS now, I guess let it be. I think you're having a problem because you're confusing Python with Java. I'm not sure, I'm not really familiar with Python, but I'm not sure how different it is. from the little I've done, it's kind of similar, but yeah, not really, don't really know, to be honest. So I need to remove every element until the function returns true. If I equals 3, break. You mean on this challenge here? Like here? Yeah, I think I understand what you're saying, but it's like unnecessary to put this, because it's already gonna stop when the number reaches there. And then the issue is I would have to put a condition on the if, right? Because when I want it to stop, like I just don't see the point. Because if it reaches the end of the loop, it's already gonna return me the smallest multiple. Because it means it didn't find anyone that was smaller than the multiplication of all of them. And if that's the case, the multiplication of all of them is the smallest number. Smallest common dividable number. Yeah, not sure if I'm saying this correctly, but you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see the point. Like, you're telling me to do like this, right? Else if then I put a condition there and I put break here. And say else if num equals 90. Something like that. And I think it's like unnecessary. No, it's not. I thought it was, but it's not actually. For two reasons. One is it's always going to find the smallest one, even if I put a really large number here, because there's gonna be a number that's gonna be the multiplication of all of them, and it's gonna reach the number eventually. So it can only be infinite if the inputs here are too big, and then it's. But that's why I did it the other way also, but. But then I guess it would defeat the purpose of having the function anyway. Yeah, we can put a condition like else if number bigger than a very large number, then we put break. Not else if, only else. If it is not, then okay, that was. Yeah, I tried the one with else, but it doesn't work because it breaks on the first iteration. Like it tests one here and then does a pass, then it goes to the else and breaks the loop. And then it's gonna give me the wrong answer. I could put something like else if number bigger or equal a very large number, break. But that's not the scope of the challenge, I think. It might be better to do this way if you're building an actual program or something like that, because then if the user inputs numbers that are too big in their way, then it breaks the loop. And then we can put a message like print number is too big or something like that. The thing I was taught to look for big O, but it was program class. Yeah, I know. And I'm sure that there's a easier way to do this, like that has less complexity, but then it's gonna take a long time to find it, you know. Because this requires a loop inside of the loop, right? It's gonna loop every time there's testing, and it creates a lot of complexity. But then we would need to do another way that doesn't require a nested loop, and I'm sure there's all kinds of ways of doing this. And it would take me a long time to know which one is the most efficient one. I'm not even sure if I would be able to do this because I don't have the knowledge yet, this skill. Reduce the factorial. You mean here? The thing is not gonna make any difference after I thought about it, because it's gonna reach the number anyway, right? So it ends up not changing much. Like it's either gonna reach that number, which is the factorial, or it's gonna reach a number smaller than that before. So this is completely useless, I think. There's one course I would suggest you to take. Which one? Yeah, you told me about this one. It's about Python, right? Or I think I have saved it here. I think it was this one. To clear some concepts. It wasn't here, right? You told me to do. You also taught to create a simulation. Yeah. Yeah, man, I don't know, like, that's the thing, I don't know when I'm gonna have sufficient amount of knowledge to actually build a real application or software or something like that. Because that's why I'm doing this, right? So let me see the link that you put it there. Be careful to not leak anything. I think you've sent me this before. In the previous stream. Yeah, you sent me this already. But how useful is this gonna be on building an application? Like, I don't want to be stuck in tutorial something that the people want to say. Forgot the expression. No, because some people get stuck during tutorials a bunch of time and they don't build anything actually, so I'm not sure when I'm gonna make the transition. If the free code camp tutorials are gonna be enough to actually build something with what I learn. I feel like I understand the main concepts already, the fundamentals, but I really don't have a clue on how to put everything together on a software application or something like that. Free code camp just teach basics. Oh really? So the whole thing on the free code camp is not gonna be sufficient to build the software. Pick file. If I remember, I think I saved that already, so... I didn't save the other one. No, I saved... Yeah, the other one I saved here. There are many more things which are needed to learn. You at home or host at home? No, sadly. But they teach the necessary things, right? To at least start. And do you know a course or a list of playlists that teaches how to visualize and understand the integration of all of the parts? Like that shows a real application or software from the beginning to the end. That's the tough thing to understand. It's for a beginner, from zero. But it actually shows an application, like that's what because from what it looks like, it's just lectures of teaching the concepts and stuff, which is also fine, but it's not necessarily what I'm thinking about. Syntax is the name of the guy? Syntax. This is cool. Do you think there's a problem if I watch this stuff on stream? I've watched a lot of YouTube channels before, but I'm not sure if it's an okay thing to do. This looks interesting. Let's see if it has a playlist that shows the whole process. I do my stream in Harrison. The owner is a cool guy. Oh, nice. Do you have experience with building software? Like when, do you know when's the best time? Like when you know you should be building something already? Instead of doing these tutorials, or like when is the right time to transition? This is also, I'm curious about AI. True, but I'm into data science. But have you tried to build anything yet, or you're just beginning like I am? Yeah, the main thing to be careful is to not be stuck in these tutorials, right? So what everyone says. But need vast knowledge. I'm building a web app. These are pretty complex. Which one of these playlists that he builds one? Or does he build one from scratch? So they are like creating an app by himself. I've watched a few of these videos, but it never shows the full thing in the end working.
Need a professional website? I created
These
one
are
for
any
our startup
Python.
using Wix.
Django, I think I've heard about.
First,
Maybe I watched some
What's
videos.
going on, everybody? Welcome to a new Python for Finance tutorial series. In this series, we're going to hopefully go over pretty much everything you could want to know for using Python with finance. To start, we're going to do pretty basic things like how to actually get data, how to work with that data,
And create solo on stream.
one company, and then we're going to get into, okay, now let's work with data from the entire SD.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. YouTube. Yeah. Yeah, man, I think I'm gonna stick to my plan. I'm gonna finish these tutorials first. And then I'm gonna think about the thing is, I think you need to know a lot of languages, right? You need to know front end, back end, the whole thing if you wanna build a software by yourself, the full software, right? And the main things I'm curious about are fractals, fractal geometry, something that I'm really curious, blockchain, and yeah, blockchain and maybe hacking, this type of stuff. Like create a software based on fractal geometry, and to understand more about blockchains and decentralized applications. But all of this stuff is really complex, right? So you need to start at the bottom, build your way up. If you're doing any language, do it whole, data structure and algorithms. And when do you think is the right time to stop, to transition, or to actually try to build something? I've watched a lot of videos about blockchain and all of this stuff, so it's not something that I'm obviously not an expert, but I'm not completely beginner at it. For mini projects in between. Yeah, like building a calculator and all this stuff, right? I have this thing here, I think, which I was also planning to do. Oh, I'm logged off, so. But it's the 30-day challenge course stuff. Build 30 projects in 30 days. Or when you do projects, you come to know what else you need to learn. Yeah, that's a good point. Let me tell you my story. Yeah, sure. Then return the rest of the array once the condition is satisfied, otherwise error should be returned as new. I'm gonna think about this meanwhile. I thought data science is just easy peasy thing. In CODE they just give us abstract. And when I have to come back to home because of COVID, I try to watch a lot of projects and stuff. I think this solution to this is a for loop. Has to be, right? It's gonna loop to the array. Then I came to realize linear algebra is the base, and I'm zero at it. So I did entire linear algebra, and now I know what is out there. So I'm focused over what I need to do. Yeah, it's a lot of mathematics. I was doing mechanical engineering before, so I'm familiar with calculus and a bunch of things on mathematics also. There's deep learning, natural language processing, and many more stuff. Did the entire Python course. That one which I sent to you. And where are you at now? I'm gonna say if passes the function. And it helped me in writing any sort of program. It is easy to understand program related stuff now. I'm in India doing TensorFlow tutorials. Learning natural language processing. And do you feel like you have have you tried building anything yet? You should try it. That course looks really big. Now I'm just going through all tutorials. Yeah, that's the thing, man. Yeah, we have to be careful with that, right? Because that's where people get stuck. Just doing tutorials forever, not building anything. So nothing is new now, as well as all was covered in theory. Oh, so if you did all theory, you should be ready, right? To build something. There should be one for when it's true, one for when it's false. There are some complicated stuff which got simplified because of theory. I don't think this is gonna work. Break. Enough pop and remove here. I don't think there is a remove function. Yeah, doesn't seem sure. Because if I only watch tutorial, then for every new term I had to look for its meaning. artery, like go through Geek for Geeks and stuff. Now I had to go, I have to start my studies too. Don't know when next I will be studying. Yeah, sure man, good luck. Keep me updated on your progress. Let's see if this passes. Probably not. Yo man, how is JS going? It's going good man. It's confusing but good. Yeah, I'll keep you posted. You have Discord? Yes, I do. Type your name there and I'll add you. Add you. So why is this wrong? Okay, let me do this so I don't leak anything. The number goes in there. 232. Yeah, hashtag. So. Think okay, I sent it to you. Yeah. Bye man. See you. You too. Move each element starting from the first element till the function returns true. Let me see why this is wrong. It should be turned true on the first one. So this one, it works. No, it's not right. iterate through and remove each element starting from the first element. So when the function returns true, it should stop. Then return the rest of the array once the condition is satisfied. The YSR should be returned as empty array. This is not gonna pass also. Oh, but now this doesn't pass. So this is working apparently. So the function returns true on the first one. And then it goes back and then breaks. So when it's false, it has to remove. So it's probably this thing that's wrong. You need to remember how to... This only removes the last element. How to remove any specific element of the array. Maybe split is a better way. Because it has to run until it is true, so. Splice and return maybe. That should be the other way around. Oh, he has to remove, right? That's the problem. Yeah, it's not gonna work this way. Maybe unshift instead of pop. First element from an array returns the true element. Let's test this one. So maybe is the function here? But then I don't understand. Yeah. Because it has to be connected with the values of the array. I think I thought about a way that might work. Man, this is probably not gonna work, but... And now this is working. So 7.4 is returning. And the function is in n bigger than 3. Thing is, I don't want to test every element, just want to test until it reaches true. Maybe map is better. So maybe delete the loop. Maybe I should remove them. This is definitely not right, but let me see what is done. Why is it giving me an undefined? Because the function takes the n argument. Maybe if I put element here. Now at least it's taking the value. And true. It returns true. Or it returns true. Okay, so now I think I got some. Now all I have to do is remove if it is false, and if it is true, then I return the array. Maybe I should put 3. I still have a feeling that it's gonna be wrong. is there. Okay. Undefined. So returning this value. So we ran the function, it returns false because 1 is not bigger than 3. The return value is undefined. Maybe I should put return here. Return value 1. Why is returning 1 then? Not there already. Oh. I'm asking to return the elements, right? So I think the conditions are right, it's just not doing what I wanted to do. Let's see if I change from R and put a, let's see. It's jumping from 1 to 3 because I'm removing the element. Maybe if I create a new array and then I push the elements that pass the condition, would be better. Yeah, let's try like that. Like that. Or maybe this here, that's wrong. Oh, I just got a bunch of them right now. I feel like this is not the way that I'm supposed to do this. It's supposed to remove and not add. Let's see what time it is. Oh, maybe if I do it directly, and if I do if true, then return element. Let's try it. See what happens. Now it's a bunch of them that are wrong. I'll go back to this. Oh, this is the issue. That I'm pushing only the one, then I need to push all of them. Maybe I will use concat instead of. Let's see what's happening this way. Oh, it turns into define and elements. Oh, maybe I need to use filter instead of map. Yeah, that might be easier. If all elements that pass the test implemented by the provided function. So let me leave this here. And I'm gonna use filter. Or maybe I don't need to use. We can just put element and function elements. Let me try just putting function elements. Okay, so the other way was better. Let me see what this is then. It's the same problem as I had before, but a better way to do it. Okay, so this works. Let's see all the ones that are not working. right back. It's the same issue. I'm going through every element and I just want to have the whole thing. Yeah. And this is gonna be the same thing. Same problem. I have an idea, I think. No, but this is gonna go for every element. That's the issue here. Yeah. I don't think filter is gonna work for this. There was a mice here. Where am I tripping? I need to look into this stream elements thing, because apparently mine is not working properly. Did I stop the... Oh no. So how can I make this stop when it reaches this condition? And maybe filter is not the right way. And a for loop is easier. Let's try a for loop. I think now might work. Ah. Just that one works. I was returning 4. Understand this. And if I put -1 here. Let's see what happens now. Undefined. So it turns empty array. Now it should work. Okay. At least that one is working. Yeah. So when it's empty, it's not working. I forgot to make a condition for that. And then this one is not working also. Let me do it differently and put outside of the loop. Well, it should work already. Should be returning an empty array. Well, now it's working here, but it's weird that it wasn't working before. When it was there. if it never reaches the condition inside of the loop. Okay, so now that's the only one that's wrong. It's probably because it's the first element, so it slices prematurely. True, and then returns the row array entirely. Oh, I know what I'm gonna do. Easy. Just copy this and paste it here. Because it was working before, right? Yeah. Oh, it still doesn't work. Thought it would work like this. It's weird because it was working before. And then I did this way. Yeah. I'm gonna raise this. Oh, it's because it's 1, not 0. That's why it's not working. Now it should work, I think. No, it still doesn't work. What I put like this. Doesn't change anything. Why is it giving me the whole thing? That's weird. Yeah, there we go. Nice. So it's just cutting the first number and the condition is true for the first. Let's see the hints on this one and how other people did it. You can use shift. No, so it doesn't need equals true. Let me see how long we've been here for. I think half more on. Half an hour more and then we'll stop. I don't understand recursion. So just calling the same function. Yeah, whatever. So as long as I is smaller, it's gonna keep calling. Same function. Smaller than the length of the array, and function array is false, which is the same over here. Then else, I think this is supposed to be an else. Dark elements are dot slice I plus 1.
vida. Fiquei com a vaga.
Hello friends, welcome back. Today we're going to do an exercise called drop. Given the array, iterate through and remove each element starting from the first element until the function returns true when the iterated element is passed through it. Then return the rest of the array once the condition is satisfied. So the rest of the array once the condition is satisfied. Otherwise, array should be returned as an empty array. Remember to use read search ask if you get stuck. Okay, cool. So yeah, 1, 2, 3. If it's less than 3. Okay, so this wouldn't happen at all. So we would want this one to return this one would actually return an empty array. So yeah, let's make a, First I want to set let's let result equal an empty array, and then make our result, and then at the end we're going to pass in our resulting array. I'm just going to set this equal to result. We can set this equal to result as well because it's outside of the scope of this function, and then we're just going to console.log the result. The reason I'm doing that is just so that we can see the answers down here. This should actually pass some of our tests. Yeah, like this one, because in this situation, we want to return if n is greater than 5. Well, none of these numbers are greater than 5, so we're getting an empty array. So we're already passing our first test. And so I think that this one is actually a useful test case, right? So here we want to return 3 and 4. So we want to go through and we want to return numbers that are greater than or equal to 3. So we're going to iterate through, and we're going to say, we're going to pass this element into this function. So n will become equal to 1, and then we're going to return if 1 is greater than or equal to 3. That's not true, so we continue to the next one. Is 2 greater than or equal to 3? False. Is 3 greater than or equal to 3? True. And then so therefore we want to return this array dot slice at position 2, right? And so we'll get the array of 3 and 4. And so yeah, that seems pretty straightforward, right? We could write a for loop to iterate through here and then pass this number in, or this element of the array into this function. So let's do that. So we're going to say for let I equals 0, I is less than the array dot length, and we want to iterate with I being equal to 1. And so here we want to see if that's true, right? So we want to make an if statement. Well, here, first off, I'll console log it so we can see what's going on. If I want to say the function, and then we're going to pass in the array at position I. Right? And then here, I'm just going to put, just for the sake of making this really explicit, array at position I. Here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 is our array. 1, 2, 3, 4. So, and then our function is this guy. If it returned if n is greater than or equal to 3. Is 1 greater than or equal to 3? No. Is 2 greater than or equal to 3? Is 2 greater than or equal to 3? No. Is 3 greater than or equal to 3? Yes, it is. So now what we want to do is assign to the result the rest of the array. So array, and if we were to do, here we can say the array at array dot slice at position I. Well, then this is what we're assigning to the result. And so here we want to return there. So initially we're sliced it at 0 and secondary, but that's false. Again, we slice it at 2, but our function still results in false. Here at 3, we've got a true result, and therefore we pass in, we can save to the result array. So we want to return the array.slice at position I. Yeah, okay, so we want to make, so we want to say if the function at array at position I is equal to true, then we return array.slice at position I. Okay, and I think I've got it. Let's see, let's get rid of this. Syntax error. You need an extra parenthesis there.
I'm just gonna do it the same way that I did, I think.
Array dot for each, and then say element, and then go like this. Then we wouldn't need this guy, and we could pass this conditional part. We wouldn't need this either. And then instead of saying array at position I, we could do this. Ooh, but then we would have a hard time. How would we make it so that we would get those slice? Oh yeah, we wouldn't have an index, so we can't really do that. Yeah, I'll take it back to here. Now there's probably a lot of different ways that you can do this with a higher order function. I don't really want to go into that for here because I think you can figure that out on your own if you wanted to. We can make this a single line. That would make the code look a little cleaner perhaps. We don't need to do result, but we do, because if we don't do result, then we won't get empty arrays when it doesn't work out. So we want to have return result here if the function doesn't find anything else. But actually we don't need to define result up here. We could just, if it moves through and doesn't find anything, we could just pass in an empty array, and that would simplify our code as well. So yeah, you could get it down to here. There's probably a higher order function that does this really quickly. And in other languages like Ruby, I would use the for each with index loop, and I would use
I think mine was
that
working
here.
this way that he did. It was because I put r.slice ri instead of I. That's the issue that I had there.
But yeah, I think for now, this is a good answer for this one. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and we'll see you in the next lesson.
Oh, I don't remember how to do this.
Hola, me llamo Cristian
I'm gonna have to watch a video on this one.
enfocado en crear experiencias.
Flatten a nested array. You must account for varying levels of nesting. I don't even know where to start. Flatten a nested array. I remember there were some challenges that it went through this, but I don't remember. Yeah, let me look at the hints. You need to check if an element is an array or not. Hint 2. If you're dealing with an array, then you need to flatten. Getting the value inside of the array. You definitely need recursion, or another way to go beyond 2-level, a way to make the code flexible, not hard-coded to the answers needed. Okay, so we need to choose recursion somehow. But I'm not sure what does that even mean. To flatten it. Yeah, this one I think I'm just gonna watch the video for the solution. And this should return 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I have no idea how to do this.
Alright, so let's go ahead and flatten an array. So first we will make our data array, and this would be a flat array. You can see it's one-dimensional, there are no nested arrays. What happens when we want to flatten an array is we'll have something like this, where we've got an array within arrays, and then maybe even we want to get really crazy, then we can have an array inside of an array inside of another array. If we wanted to just print out like the full contents, every single item of each individual array one by one, then it would be something more like, let's call this flattened data, or flat data, that's good. And now this would be back to the original one that I made. So let's just leave this as something that we're expecting as like a little test as a reference. So now let's go ahead and write a function to flatten the array. And we will just take in that array argument. We want to declare this flat array, which will initialize the empty array. And we'll do some stuff here, and then we'll go ahead and we'll return the flat array. So we'll have that there, and then here we will go ahead and call, let's just call it new array, and this is where we will pass in that data into the flatten function. And then once we actually execute that, then we can just pop out the new array. Let's just run this and see what will happen. It should return the empty array. So just like we expected. So now if we want to flatten this, we want to run through each element of array. So let's do it for each. And for each element, we want to check if it is an array. And if it is, we're going to call this function recursively. That way we can handle cases like this where it's kind of nested. And if it's not an array, then we will just pop it onto this flat array that we have. And we're going to use this array method, array.isArray, and that'll be for element. And if it is, we'll want to say that flat array equals, and then we're going to use concat here and concat it with the flattened version of element. And so this is us cycling through, and the element is the current item at the index that we're cycling through. And we want to make sure that's flattened, just in case that it is an array. And with concat, it's returning a new array, so it's not actually modifying this array, even though we're calling it on this flat array. So that's why we want to assign it to flat array. And then otherwise, we are just going to push onto this array. So we want to push element on if it is not an array. So now when we run this, we should see this expected flat data as the console log here. So we're passing in this data, and we flatten it, and then we should see this flattened array. Okay, so we've got an error here. Array copy for each. That's because I did something strange. So this again, and now you can see the flattened data here. So if we were to step through this, then you can see actually what is happening each time. It's cycling through each element here. So this top array really has 1, 2, 3, and 4 total elements, and this has 2 within it, and this has 3 within it. It's cycling through, flattening each, and then at the end we get this flattened array.
So we used for each.
4 total elements.
Used for each.
Actually, what is happening each time? The current item at the index that we're cycling through. Then we want to make
if array.isArray. No, so there is the recursion. Yeah. Now let's try to do this. I don't remember this thing. The way that it works, array.isArray. But this supposedly checks if it's an array or not. something like this. Let's save this. Yeah, it doesn't work. So this was wrong. And that's array. It's returning an empty array. So probably this condition is wrong. Maybe we can use type of.
Frete grátis a partir de R$ 99. Você
Hi everyone, so this video will learn how you can verify if a variable is array or not using JavaScript. So let's get started. Let's have a basic HTML structure here. We'll draw a style sheet. This will at the bottom, which is display
Oh my god. How many blocks? So the 2 is an array. The second one. The first one is not. I think the function here, the concatenation is wrong. Because it's just return an empty array. Maybe if I do this... No, but then it's gonna put the array there. No, it works for the 2 and the 3. It does not take in consideration multiple levels of the thing. So I need to call the function somehow. Maybe if I just return this.
That's flattened just in case that it is an array. And with concat, it's returning a new array, so it's not actually modifying this array, even though we're calling it on this flat array. So that's why we want to assign it to flat array. And then otherwise, we are just going to push onto this array. So we want to push element on here if it is not an array. So now when we run this, we should see this expected flat data as the console log here. So we're passing this data, and we flatten it, and then we should see this flattened array. Okay, so we've got an error here. Property for each. That's because I did something strange. So this again, and now you can see the flattened data here. So if we were to step through this, then you can see actually what is happening each time. It's cycling through each element. Okay, so first we will make our data array, and this would be a flat array. You can see it's one-dimensional. There are no nested arrays. What happens when we want to flatten an array?
So I didn't put the else statement that I put here.
And then maybe even if we want to get really crazy, then we can have an array inside of an array inside of another array. If we wanted to just print out like the full contents, every single item of each individual array one by one, then it would be something more like, let's call this flattened data. Flat data, that's good. And now this would be back to the original one that I made. So let's just leave
Cheese, I think.
something that we're expecting as a test.
Push.
So now let's go ahead and write a function to flatten the array.
Something like this.
We'll just take in that array argument. We'll want to declare this flat array.
Now the one is included
We'll
also.
do some stuff here, and then we'll
Problem is the 4.
So we'll have that there, and then here we will go ahead and call it new array, and this is where we will pass in that data into the flatten function. And then once we actually execute that, then we can just pop out the new array. Let's just run this and see what will happen. It should just return an empty array. So just like we expected.
I'm going to the phone.
So now if we want to flatten this, we want to run through each element of the array. And for each element, we want to check if it is an array, and if it is, we're going to call this function recursively. That way we can handle things like this where it's an array. And if it's not an array, then we will just pop it onto this flat array that we have. We're going to use this array method, array.isArray, and that'll be for the element. And if it is, we'll want to say that flat array equals.
The issue is here for sure.
Just concat here and concat with duration of element.
I'm not sure what's
Cycle
not
through,
working.
and the element is the
Oh, now it works.
item at the index that we're cycling through. Then we'll
Yay!
make sure that's flattened
I
just
probably
as it's an
typed
array.
wrong.
And with concat, it's returning a new array, so it's not actually modifying this array, even though we're calling it on this flat array.
Maybe
So that's why we're
I'll
gonna assign it to flat array. And then otherwise,
see how other
we are
people solve
going to push onto this array.
this thing.
If it is not an array. So now when we run this, we should see this expected flat data as the console log here. So we're passing in this data, and we flatten it, and then we should see this flattened array. Okay, so we've got an error here. Array property for each. That's because it's something strange. Let's run this again, and now you can see the flattened data here. So if we were to step through this, then you could see actually what is happening each time. It's cycling through each element here, so this top array really has 1, 2, 3.
Wow, this one's gonna be hard also.
Do you write code? Step 9 will speed up your coding process. Using artificial intelligence, Step 9 predicts your next move while keeping your code neat, smart, and safe.
Hello friends, welcome back. Today we're going to do a project called Steamroller. So we want to flatten a nested array. You must account for varying levels of nesting. Use research, ask if you get stuck, try to pair program. Okay, so the idea here, first off, let's make it so that we can read this. So we'll set this equal to a variable of result, t, and then we'll say console.log result.
Let me see the
result. So now we can
Least
see
ahead
so
on
right
the
now we're just
binary
passing
thing.
back the array to the, and since we're passing this in, it works. Now, we want to solve this programmatically, but one way we could just do this is just go flat. So what that does is it takes, I'm just going to comment out flat right now. You'll see that this is a nested array. We've got 2 is an array, and then 3 is within an array, and 4 is actually hidden because it's an object. And so when we call flat on it once, 2 becomes a non-array, and 3 is taken away from being it's out of this array, and then 4 is still settled in there. So if we call flat again, 4 is gone, and then if we call flat again, we've got, you know, the solution. If we run the test, this passes. Now, however, this wouldn't work if, you know, for, say we had an unlimited data set, then we would have to call flat again, and our function would just start to look ludicrous. So how could we do this programmatically instead of going dot flat, 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 flat like that? Because that's not a great solution. So what we could do is say, well, we could say, in here we can say array is equal to array.flat, right? And this does the same thing, but we could pass this into a conditional statement. So if we wrapped this in a while statement, well, first off, let's just do it in a while statement where let's like create an index of 0 and say, you know, while I is greater than or is less than 4, we could say array is equal to array.flat. Oh, and then we need to make sure to say
now we know
I plus
that
equals
we
1.
can only store.
Okay, and then this one, if we get rid of this, basically we're doing it programmatically, right? If we make this equal to while I is less than 1,
So how is
0,
it that we are
we're back to the original one. If it's 1, we're iterating up. If it's 2, we're iterating up. And if it's 3, well, we've got our answer, and that would pass the test as well. So we could theoretically make this like, you know, 3,000, and that would pretty much adjust for any sort of thing that we wanted. However, this is still not a super elegant answer because this, if we do it this way, we're going to be calling flat on any array that happens, you know, 3,000, 30,000 times, and then we'll probably never run into data that is that nested. It's better if we do something like, because we can look through this array and say, ask, is this an array? And this would turn no. Is this an array? True. Okay, run flat, and then run it again. Is this an array? Yeah, no. Is this array? Well, this will be rendered out if we're doing it the second time or the first time to 0. Yeah, the first time this would not array, not array, not array. But then 4, it would say yeah array. Okay, so we'll do it again. Not array, not array, not array. 4, yeah array. So no, let's do it again. 3. Okay, good. But how can we do that programmatically? Well, we can pass in here using the sum function. So we could say array.sum function, and then we call a data point. Okay, cool. So with each one, we're calling it a data point. Is this a data point? Is this a data point? So what we can do, because yeah, like here, if we were to console.log the result at position 2, result at position 2, we would say, well, what we can do is we can say array.isArray. And then this is true. Okay, so at position 2, 0, 1, 2. So is this an array? Yes. What about at 1? Is this array? True. Okay, position 0, is this an array? False. This is an array because it's done. So what we're doing is we're iterating through and then just calling this on each instance. Well, we just want to call, instead of saying result, we're going to say data point because we're passing in each data point. Doof, doof, doof. And then we pass console log result, and oh, it's not working. Why is it that? Okay, and now if we're, so yeah, that's
and they updated this
I think that's
problem.
good to go. So while
it's
we
flat,
are,
so
well, this basically just says
they changed.
Say, pass in. If I were writing this in production code. Oh yeah, here we can implicit. Oh yeah, we just got to return the result of this as well if we extract it from here. This code looks a little bit more readable. I would actually change this into something instead of steamroller array. I would be like, you know, flatten array infinitely. An array in the data.
Yeah. All right. This is it for me for today. I think I will. Next time I will start by watching these videos in order to solve this problem here. So yeah, see you next time.